Everything started with a question that terrified me. Is this gonna be my life for the next 35 plus years? In 2021, I was living in Amsterdam together with my 2 young children and my partner in a really beautiful apartment. I was really having a great life. I was working as a civil engineer in a big company. I had ticked all my boxes. I was living in a beautiful country. I was healthy. I was having my family. I had succeeded in so many different ways. And yet, I was not happy with what I had. I was not content. I was not satisfied with my life. So I was complaining a lot to the people around me. I was complaining a lot for the people around me, for my life, the way it was, or the ways that it should have been. But I felt it wasn't. Of course, people around me felt I was being selfish and ungrateful for what I had at the time. So I was like, okay, stop complaining. You have everything, so just enjoy it. And they were right? In the sense that I was being ungrateful. I was being ungrateful. But it was not that I wanted to be that. It was not intentional. And yet I was. So the question came to mind, why? Why? Why don't I allow myself to be happy? Why cannot I enjoy what I already have succeeded up at that moment? It felt everything was my choice. It felt like everything I had chosen was of my own making and achievement, so I had succeeded, right? But why wasn't I feeling it? Unconsciously at the time, I started looking for answers. I noticed that I started reading books, watching content that tried to explain what I was feeling, it was going on. In a more organized way, it happened when I had some difficulties at work. They couldn't really position me in a specialized role within my company. And I was finding hard also to specialize myself in something specifically. I wanted to explore different aspects of the work, but there was a misalignment there. So my manager at the time suggested that I would follow some coaching sessions to help me explore that further. What those coaching sessions did for me instead was mainly uncovering something deeper. And they uncovered 2 main things. One, that I was being really harsh and over judgmental with myself and my inner dialogue. Nothing I was ever doing was enough. I would beat myself up for the smallest mishappenings. I would take on blame for other people's behaviors. And I could not tolerate any misbehavior from my side. That was one. And the next was that I was overly concerned and overly focused about the connections in my life. So by that, it was meant that everything I did was for the sake of the connection. So every decision I ever made, every choice I ever did, the way I would show up in connections and relationships, at my job, everything was around the fact that I wanted to please everyone. I didn't want anyone to misunderstand me. I wanted to be easygoing for the people around me, and I was trying to avoid conflict with others at all costs. So that what would create huge internal conflict. Also, being judgmental of myself, of course, didn't allow me to enjoy any of my achievements. I would overly criticize them, or the moment that I would achieve something and get excited, after a point that this excitement would fade away, I would find myself back into the unpleasant state of not being content with what I have and what I experience. This was just the beginning, uncovering these core beliefs and values within myself, and also a way of behaving. It was not enough, of course, to change them, right? And at the time it was not even clear what I can do with them. So I keep searching for answers, I keep searching for my truth. And over that course of time, I started doing small changes in my daily behaviors. Initially, everything felt so unclear, so unsteady. It was difficult for me to discern between what I want and what I don't want. Actually, I would freeze in front of that question, what it is that you want. I went blank. I couldn't really think of anything that I truly wanted and desired, because I thought I had what I wanted and desired until that moment, right? That was the paradox of the whole situation. So I just continue into this journey of trying to discover more and more aspects of me. I started doing therapy. I started coaching sessions to try to find my own voice. And in parallel, I started journaling and writing down feelings, taking notes of things I would have heard and that I find interesting or helpful. I slowly started doing some exercises that could potentially help me create some clarity around some subjects. So I started taking action along the way, and not just cognitive, trying to understand what was happening. I truly dedicated myself, initially unconsciously and slowly choosing it more and more, into unraveling what was happening for me. And that led, of course, to a series of changes in my life and shake-ups. Today, 5 years later, my life is quite different in so many aspects. I left my job as a civil engineer. I decided to leave the whole career of civil engineering, actually, because it did not feel truly aligned with me. I changed countries. I moved to a different city. My relationships, my closest relationships, have shifted enormously. And it's quite challenging navigating these huge internal shifts with your intimate relationships, especially, because not everyone are on the same page at the same time. And that calls for really big and difficult sometimes decisions from your part. So that's what I did, and that's what I'm keep doing. So it's not like the shifts or the changes have settled completely. I'm keep doing them. I'm keep choosing them. But yet it feels much more aligned with me. I experience much more calmness and contentment within myself. And all this journey resulted also in me seeing a new career path, a new purpose. It's more than a career for me, it's who I am. So to see a new purpose for myself in this life, and that is the online space I've created, which is called Bridge the Inner Gap. And this is a space where I genuinely created initially as a blog to express what I was feeling in an attempt to help others. And slowly it has built to a space where I create workshops and mentoring programs and keep blogging and keep discussing and communicating my truth, which I know it's not only my truth. Because this gap is real. This internal gap is real. So few of us in our daily lives live the lives that we truly want. Usually we live in an unconscious way. And we make conscious choices based on unconscious programming that was installed in us way before we even become aware of it, if we are aware of it. So part of my purpose in this lifetime, or part of what I call my purpose in this lifetime, or what drives me at the moment, is to communicate and bring out this message of you deserve, and I deserve, we all deserve to live the life on our own terms, consciously, and feeling fulfilled from our lives. Not just going through the motions. We need collectively, as a society and as individuals, to shift the paradigm in our minds. That life is something out there. Life is here. Life is within us, and we are the creators of it. We hold the key to our lives, as long as we're willing to take over the responsibility of that life. And I'm not claiming that this is something easy for most of us, but it's definitely something possible and available to all of us. If you're resonating with this message, help me spread the word. And if you wish to support my mission, I invite you to visit my website, bridgetheinnergap.com, and you have options to support me in different ways. But even if you don't, just know that your life is your life. And I truly wish that you will live it to the fullest, and exactly in a way that creates harmony and peace within you. This is my goal for my life: inner peace and balance, conscious choices, and taking on the responsibility of my actions. Choose your goal, but make it in a way that it's meaningful to you, to your soul, not for external validation or for achievement. Send you much of love, and thank you for listening. Take care.